Believe it or not, I was dared by a buddy at a party. You know, when most comics will have the same kind of answer, everybody's kind of coming up to you saying, "Hey, you're the funniest guy I've ever met. You should be a comic." Blah 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 blah. And finally, one guy took me up on it and said, "If I get you on stage, will you go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And I blew him off. And he just was real persistent. Got me. And then Jackie Knight from St. Augustine, you ever heard of her? Gypsy Comedy Club. Mm-hmm. She gave me a spot, which was on a Friday night, not an open mic situation. It was on a paid night with a full packed house, and I got to do my first time ever on stage. I did 10 minutes, and she loved the set and invited me 2 weeks later, and I got it. I just fell in love with it. It was the most incredible feeling I've ever felt in my life, and I felt at home on stage. So it was one of those things that, like, you truly know this is what I'm supposed to do. Well, the coolest thing was I never told my wife because she's a worrywart. I didn't tell anybody. I just invited, it was my mom's 55th birthday that night. And she loves St. Augustine, so I said, why don't we have my mom's birthday at St. Augustine at a comedy club? So I had about 20 people at the table and nobody knew but my best friend who's here tonight, Greg. And he was the only one at the whole table who knew. And so they're going through the show and they're like, all right, we want to bring our next comedian who's never been up before. Let's bring him to the stage. He's from Daytona. And then everybody at the table was like, oh my God, Daytona, maybe we know. And then they announced my name and I went up there and my whole entire family freaked out. And it was just great. It was absolutely the greatest feeling I ever had. And still the same feeling 5 years, 6 years later. I have the same feeling. Wow, it would have to be Rodney Dangerfield. I'm a huge fan of his comedy, fan of his dry humor, and his movies. So I love anything Rodney Dangerfield. Caddyshack. Easy Money. Oh my God. Back to School. That was a great movie. These are all movies that were coming up in my childhood, so I was very easily influenced. And he was the old school guy. He kind of, you know, he rattled them out, and just a very, very big inspiration. I'm inspired by a lot of comedians. My favorite comedian, still alive today, is Bobby Collins. He's from New York, and he's got the same kind of sense of humor I do. I would have to say Lisa Lampanelli, because she's the queen. I would love to hear Richard Pryor, Andrew Dice Clay, and Larry the Cable Guy, because he's just because it would be a good balance. That would be my top five. The comedian that I would want to work with would probably be Bobby Collins. He's the guy he's actually the comic that I saw last at the Peabody here in Daytona in front of 4,000 people. And it was while he was on stage making everybody belly laugh. I mean, belly laugh. I couldn't breathe, I was laughing so hard. He was the guy that when it was over, I thought, I can do this, and I want to do this. So he's the guy that I want to work with. So Bobby, if you're listening, I'm available. Is King of Queens. I relate the most with Kevin James, probably fat white guy from New York City. But my favorite show growing up was Good Times. It was it was a great show. It broke the barriers. It knocked down walls. It was really cool. It was cutting edge, dynamite. So from old school, it was Good Times. A lot of subliminal humor, and new school, King of Queens. That's a good mix for me. Actually, I have a show on the internet right now. I'm a host of a show called Real Life Renovations with Rico. Because when I'm not doing comedy, I own a construction company, and I do design build, so I do architecture and construction. And my show on the internet is actually, I go on real job sites that I have, and I film it. So I would like to probably enter into the hosting avenue and hosting. I love interacting with people. So stand-up is a one-man show where you're on stage and you talk to the audience. But when I'm on TV, I can interact with people, and I like that more. Freaking racking up. I see it in California on a studio making money. I actually, I would just love to be, in 7 years my son goes to college. So in 7 years I'm an empty nester. That's when I want to take my wife, go on the road, and be in Vegas and California, hopefully doing what I love doing, and being on television, sharing the gift with the world. My name is Rico, and I just checked out my interview on cutie.com.